Alrighty, Miss Fredricka, it has been lovely chatting with you. We briefly spoke a little bit off the recording here, but Fredricka, I would love for you to kickstart this interview and tell me a little bit about your professional experience.
Okay. I previously just worked at InTouch CX, and it is a call center. They partner with different businesses, and I was working under Peloton. And Peloton is a fitness company where they have treadmills, bikes, and rows. And my job was to answer inbound calls, and it also was to troubleshoot the equipment. So I would get a call every day. There's more than 50 calls every day, like very high volume. And the first thing someone would say is like, I need help connecting the Wi-Fi to my bike. So I would read a script where it's telling me how to fix the Wi-Fi, and I would just go through it step by step with the customer, and we try to troubleshoot the issue. And I started off on the phones I was at InTouch for a year. So I started off on the phones for about 6 months, and then they seen how high my scores was. We get surveyed on our calls, and they asked me to transfer to chat. So it was a different, like, I had to learn how to type words super fast for the chat system. But I was doing the same thing on the chat, troubleshooting the equipment as well. And so, say for example, someone called in and the issue was deeper than the Wi-Fi. Say for example, a brake or a pedal broke on their bike. It was my job to order the part and get their address, get their information, collect their card payment details, and enter it in the system and ship it to their house and schedule them an appointment to repair the part on their bike. So I was scheduling appointments as well, and I was sending out emails, and I was on the chat system at InTouch, and everything is high volume. The chats was coming in back to back. Sometimes we had 2 chats at a time, and we had to also worry about emails at the same time. So when no one's on the phone, which is rare, then we would be working on emails. When no one's on emails, we'd be working on chats. We're always doing something.
Yeah.
And that was my job at InTouch.
It sounds like, very high paced, fast paced environment that you worked in. Now, you also worked as a front desk customer service representative, and you also worked as a domestic violence clerk at the Leon County Courthouse. So you've done a lot of, customer service roles. Tell me a little bit about those two other roles as well.
Okay. So when I was working at Leon County Courthouse, this was like sometime after I graduated high school. I got the opportunity to move to Tallahassee and work in the courthouse, and I got that job with no experience, and my job was to be a domestic violence court reporter. So every day I would go to court, and we would sit there, and I would take attendance, and my job was to so we would sit there and we would listen to the domestic violence stories, and then the judge would tell me if he's going to grant a restraining order or deny it. And so before I go to court every morning, I would have all the restraining orders printed out. So during the court proceedings, he'd say, I would grant this petition. I would check it out for the judge. And then it's my job when the court is over to take it back to my desk and file all the paperwork, send it to the sheriff's office so that they could serve the respondent. And I had to learn different types of code words to enter it into the computer just so we could keep track of all the different restraining orders that we're sending out. And I had to answer calls in case the sheriff department calls me and it's like, what happened to this case? And I'll let them know. And then as well as petitioners, they will call me to figure out what's happening with their case, and I would let them know. So that was basically, I would do that Monday through Thursday. Sometimes we have special hearings on Fridays. So I would just have to be prepared, all the time, because I was working with 7 different judges, and it was something new every day, something very entertaining. That was my experience there. And working at Rebounders, that was when it was like I had came back, and is a trampoline park. So I was a front desk receptionist, and then they also had me rotate to like watch children on the trampolines, which was okay. But my job at Rebounders was to check people in, get them tickets like wristbands to jump on the trampolines, and just to basically answer any questions that they have, or you know, I had to check them in and give them socks to jump on the trampoline. So it was front desk basic things, and just taking payments so that they can start jumping on the trampolines.
Absolutely, Fredricka. You laid out a professional background beautifully. You were able to give me details from each and every role, which again, a lot of your roles are very much customer service based,
Yeah.
whether it's in person, over the phone, email, chat, etc. Now, Fredricka, I would love to know, what does customer service mean to you?
I think customer service is just it's paying attention to someone's needs. I think it's just having a positive attitude while helping someone get what they need. So,
Yeah.
yeah, just paying attention to the customer's needs, getting things done, but with a positive attitude. And yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. It's really just being a consultant to every single customer that we interact with.
Yeah.
You worked in a few roles. How would your colleagues or your ex-colleagues describe you? What would they say about you? How's your work ethic?
I think they would describe me as very reliable and very upbeat and very consistent. I'm consistent at what I do at work, and I always keep a positive attitude because I enjoy talking to people. I enjoy a fast environment, and so it keeps me busy, and I just enjoy helping people. I apply for similar roles like this, customer service, just because it's just good getting to know different people and creating relationships with people and networking, and that's what I enjoy the most.
Absolutely, that was very well said. And I can only imagine that in the roles that you use, you've had to use some kind of systems. If you don't mind telling me, what are some systems that you are familiar with or have used in the past?
Mm.
And it can even be something as simple as the email system that you utilize, familiarity with spreadsheets, those type of systems.
Okay, yeah. So we use Microsoft Word. At the courthouse, we use Microsoft Excel, and I'm trying to remember what we use for InTouch, because this was like it was a client partner, so it wasn't a really well-known system.
No worries. I'm sure they had their own separate system that's not one more for the general public to utilize.
So I
Um,
couldn't really say like the name of the one at Peloton, but at the courthouse, it was just basic Microsoft Word and Excel. And then it was like very close to COVID time. Like we were just getting over COVID. So we were doing Zoom meetings.
so you've used Zoom as well. You know how to do that or
Mhm.
access it as well. Well, that sounds perfect, Fredricka. And if given the opportunity, when are you looking to start a new role?
I'm looking to start a new role as soon as possible.
That sounds lovely. Well, Fredricka, I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording here. It truly has been amazing speaking to you. But don't hang up on me. I want to continue chatting with you.
Okay.
Thank you.